Hey, what's up YouTube? It's DirtyMobs back with some more Illaoi gameplay. I'm versus Kayle in the top lane. Sure like the video, subscribe to the channel. First, we'll start with a little rune rundown. You might notice my runes are a little bit weird. Normally, I'd be running grass from the Kayle, get the second win, get a little bit of trading action early. But I thought I was versus Jax, who's in the mid lane. And Jax, I would have rather have Conquer for the extra damage output. So, versus Kayle, we're going to be running Conquer, Triumph, Legend Tenacity, Last Stand, and here you see me going aggressive, got the level advantage. Missed the Q. Kayle leveled up as well, so I'm going to back up a little bit. Her lethal tempo, once fully stacked, is a high DPS threat. So I'll go for a quick low trade. Now, I'm being aggressive for a reason. If you look at the mini-map right now, you'll see Echo has forced Fiddle out of the jungle, and that was the main reason I went aggressive, is I had the level advantage. But I also want to have an aggressive stance to make it awkward for Kayle to rotate over and go into our jungle. So I have a strong side, like, jungle advantage right now. I'm going to just keep being aggressive. We got a Tentacle coming up. Miss the E. Really sad. Q. I mean, the Kayle's doing a good job of sidestepping, for sure. Missed a few minions going for that. That was a good time to try for it, though, because my Tentacle is coming up in 4 seconds. What I wanted to do is run up, land the E, spawn the Tentacle about the same time, and have, like, a lot of damage output threat. I'm going to try for 1 E here. Doesn't work. Or maybe I could have held it and just tried to play off the cannon. That could have worked a little bit better. But I'll do a little cheater recall and give boots. Boots are really important to gap closers, Kayle. And the wave's going to bounce back to me, so... Kind of an awkward amount of gold, though, 550. Yeah, so we're going back to the runes. We also have secondary Manaflow ban and Transcendence. Yeah, I could have maybe gone the movement speed secondary instead of Transcendence, because I think I am going to go Stridebreaker this game. But we're going to run back to lane. And what I'm going to be doing this game is I'm trying to pressure Kayle early a lot, to try to get some sort of advantage and try to get a kill lead or something, right? Just because Kayle does obviously outscale us. I see here we have a lot of minions. Although she's kind of low and I do have boots advantage. Like, I want to look for something. There I'm kind of denying minions just from my positioning. QE. She's using minions. It gets to the point. That fight's kind of spooky, but it's winnable because she's such a low health at the start. And she let me go melee range, right? She was trying to kill that Tentacle. I don't really mind she killed the Tentacle. I'm kind of using it as bait. Once we got really low, I was looking for a QE, but the minion, she was using minions to block. So what happens is, once we got really late into that fight, we don't want to throw E, because E doesn't actually do damage, and we didn't have a Tentacle. Or we did have a Tentacle, but it would have taken too much time. Like, we just win if we just keep 1-for-1ing with Kayle. But you can see, without a Tentacle up and all the minions I was tanking, it was pretty close. Not too bad. Back up a little bit. We have Conquer stacked. I want to stay aggressive. Yep. Whew. So close. Hoping the magic resist from Merc Treads would be enough, and it was. So the reason that fight worked is I took a long extended trade to sack of Conquer, and it was all leading into a Tentacle respawn. So I stacked up Conquer, I kind of backed off to drop minion aggro, wait for my cooldowns to come back up, and then got back in there. I thought Fiddle would move a little bit more there. I'm gonna push one more and then reset. But yeah, and then once my cooldowns were kind of coming up, the Tentacle was coming back up, I went back in while Conquer was still sacked, so I could utilize that a little bit. And you see we're at 100 healing so far. QE, beautiful. One of the things you can do as Illaoi is, and I'll talk about it all the time, it's so important to increasing your E hit rate, is you want to throw Q, and then right after, like literally as Q is casting, spam E. Just spam E. The Tentacle you slam will kill the minion in front of you, and then it kind of all muddies the visuals. It doesn't, like, the visuals are all taking place in their natural way, but the visual is so muddied for the enemy, and they're so focused on the Q hitbox that they don't think about the E that's following up. I'm gonna go Stridebreaker. Stridebreaker, it's a different. It's kind of the same as Frostfire Gauntlet. I'm trying to figure out. I think this on Frostfire Gauntlet is 25% base, and it has like a scaling health thing. Stridebreaker is 40% base with no scaling. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going Stridebreaker for the lockdown, the damage, the wave clear. Really the utility. What I need is to just get Kayle to stop moving so I can ult. Because Kayle can be really hard to hit with the really tiny hitbox, the movement speed buff, the fact that she's always orb walking. Spamming bottle a lot. I can once go for a dive. I don't want to go for that though. We have like 1 or 2 more chances to land an E. Otherwise, every time we land, we miss E though. You see we're going to take a lot of damage every time. That we're going to take a little bit less damage, but because we're already so far away. That would have been a good play if I had a Yump. Kind of trying to bait her here because Echo's nearby. She doesn't go for it. That's fine. I'll just go and reset. What you need to do in this kind of matchup is every time you miss E, you're going to get poked down for like a couple, like 300 HP every time, depending on how aggressive they position themselves. And so what you're doing is you're kind of fishing. Every time you miss, you lose. You have to sacrifice a little bit of HP. And if you miss like 3 in a row, you just have to reset. Don't overstay, because what they want to do is they want to wait for you to miss those 3 E's, get you down to 400 HP, and then you miss 1 more E. And then they like all in you, flash, all the they pull out all the stops, and that's really what you don't want. Let's see. Auto Q, auto W. We got really good vision top side. I jump with bot side, so I'm a little bit afraid of maybe a lane gank, but auto W. The ideal combo when you pull E is auto W, auto Q, auto W. But you see, like there, I didn't auto Q, I just Q'd. It's because she's running out of the range. So I'm trying to get the Q off real quick to get a little bit of healing and damage. I'd rather do that than the auto. Now we're just trying to use our wave clear. It obviously helps a lot that my team's owning, but the point of this lane is I've done a really good job of playing around jungle. Early on, I was really aggressive with my jungler's topside, and I used that to generate a few leads. And there have been points where I was kind of playing around fiddle a little bit, but usually what would happen is I'd get Kayle low enough. If you can get your enemy low enough, you don't have to worry too much about the jungle gank, because when one of the targets is low, it becomes a 1v1v1. Like you're juggling the 1v1 versus Kayle, but then you do something and they kind of have to back off, and then you 1v1 fiddle, and then you land E and ult and all that, and they get low. And then they're having to play with 2 1v1s instead of playing a 1v2, and it's a lot easier to play that way. I do have Flash. Flash is really pivotal to get the 1v1 kill at this point. You see there, I'm... Oh. It's alright, we can just kind of saw. I've got backup coming up. I just want my E. I want to wait for my E. And they decide not to go for it. Nautilus is in a terrible position, though. Keep track of Kayle here. You got E Kayle? Nice. Way better to E Kayle than Nautilus. Nautilus is dead 100%. Can't catch up, but we'll kill the spirit. Just push. Nice, got kill flash. It's really important because what I want to do, like my real win condition at this point in the 1v1 is going to be land E, kind of walk away a little bit, and that'll feign weakness. And then Kayle walks towards you because she thinks, oh, like my auto attacks, like this Illaoi can't do anything to me now. And then you turn back with the flash R, you kill the spirit, you stick to Vayne or Kayle with the slow from the E tether breaking. And that's really how the 1v1 should go. I'm teleporting bot because there's still turret plates up. My Vayne went mid, so my bot lane's already rotated to mid, which is what they should do at this point. A lot of you in lower elo might not have your bot lanes who are aware of this. But at this point, it's fine to kind of switch up the lanes a little bit. Get a tentacle set up, get some plates. We see 2 mid, 1 top. I think Fiddle's AFK at this point. I want to keep this as a video. I don't like... Oh. You see the beauty of Stridebreaker. The important thing in that fight, and a question I get asked a lot, is... DirtyMobs, when do you focus the spirit? When do you focus the champion? Okay, in that situation, you focus the champion because Triss is in the middle of all your tentacles, and hitting the champion will do 100% damage. Okay, so I'm dealing 100%, and then if anything hits the spirit, cool. Like I have 1 tentacle, I can probably Q line up. That's great. And then if Kayle or if Tristana flashes out or ults me away or something, I can use the spirit to deal damage after she's out of my reach. And sometimes you can get the kill that way. So you deal all your damage to the champion. She's at 10%, the spirit's at 90%. You just turn and kill the spirit, and it's going to transfer enough damage to kill the champion. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, I still want to keep this as a video. I think it's a really good display of how to play off your jungler in a matchup that you're going to get outscaled in, and how to set up some early kills pretty nicely. Just gonna push top. My team's just ending the game. Take it. I want to see if Kayle's recalling any of the bushes using the sweeper. I did get Merc Treads this game. Reason for Merc Treads is Fiddle, CC chain, magic damage top, magic damage jungle. So really efficient magic damage plus all the tenacity is really nice. Kayle slow. Fiddle CCs. I'm gonna go help them out. I do have flash. We actually did see Fiddle come back, but I don't know if they DC'd because they rage or what. You can just land the E flash R. Yep. See the use of Stridebreaker here. Q, yeah, nice. Stridebreaker just lets you have 1 big slow when you flash R into the fight. Solid performance overall. I mean, we'll go look at the post game. Really, that game just came down to the 1v1 on Kayle. The 2 1v1s I had, right? Getting those solo kills just led to a situation where Kayle can't counteract my wave clear capabilities. And then I just snowball from there. It leads to really easy situations for me. I think I'm going to honor... Echo, like, destroyed them. Kayle did really well, too, though. Echo was nice that when I pinged danger from the dive that I thought was a bad dive, if Fiddle was there and Kayle R, it would have been a really disastrous dive. So yeah, top damage, really good. I'll just look at the graph real quick. You see, we got the 2 solos, and I just leveraged it into a big lead. Hope you enjoyed the video, learned something. I'll see you next time.